makes it pretty even for both of them. But Tom, I'm hearing that we are ready to roll and get into this game. Icebox kicking off between FPX and forZe, and the pistol will see forZe on the defensive side trying to make this work. Now I'm gonna throw you under the bus, Tom. Who's taking it? Who's your favorite here? You made a pretty good call on Liquid earlier.
I'm always going to go FPX. I've got them as one of my top 4 teams. I can't not say them taking, especially this map. I think that it's one that they've always almost been one of those sleeper teams on it. I think they've been very good on it in the past, and I think especially now with Xiao on the Jet, this is almost like his proving ground to Angel of like, let me play Duelist more often. And from what we've seen so far, he's not going to let that go.
I think he's a player that I will definitely not argue with if he says, hey, I want to play the Jet this time around. Zepan actually has a gap there to get the plant down. The snakebite not fully covering it. And so we are going to see the spike planted. That's thanks to the wall being a little bit deeper than normal. Now Shadow all the way up in their spawn avoids that second flash, gets a kill, and considering the position he was in and the utility that he's just burned up on a pistol round, that's a big positive. No flashes for forZe as they come in on the retake, and Xiao, oh no! That is an awkward fight, putting the man advantage to forZe. They can now go in and get this spike diffused. Of course, the snakebite up behind the wall to stop that diffuse, but it doesn't matter because there is plenty of time left as the final player falls. That was a scrappy one that forZe will walk away with the victory on.
Yeah, I won't lie. There were a lot of weird battles in that one. Like the battle we saw with Xiao, I won't lie, I was expecting him to connect more there. And also the fact that Shadow was so aggressively placed in comparison to the rest of the team. Like you look at the remainder almost being around yellow, and where he died, it's a bit of a peculiar spot to see your Sky in. One of the players that can basically help you push back out if you have a situation like this where you might need a flash. So I'm not sure if the plan just went a little bit of a miss there from FPX, but for forZe, perfect. They managed to pull off the retake. They now come in with the better purchase into this round, although there is still some investment coming through, especially because of the plant.
Yeah, a little bit of extra cash going to be thrown at this one. Now, in terms of how to use... Ooh, they're not going to peek that, are they? I thought Artist was going to swing in. In terms of how to use this Cypher when it comes to the defensive side, there are a bunch of ways. I'm like genuinely excited to see what FPX have got planned at this stage. But when it comes to attacking side, it's going to be a little bit less enjoyable playing Cypher, let's say. And it seems like they're going to use Dimasic to try and garner a little bit of control inside of the tube. And as he comes back, connects a quick headshot. Really, the objective here is kind of get yourself those 3 kills on the board and cripple forZe's economy. Why is Coffee still fighting? And why is it working? It's gone for 4 and connected every single shot. Well, that's one hell of a round for Coffee, especially Tom. He's just 1 away from his ultimate already.
Yeah, I think he's someone, if there's going to be a victory here today for forZe, that basically has to go off the chains. Like, well, we know that there's some incredible fraggers on the other side for FPX, and forZe are that 3rd place team coming out of CIS. Now, one of the things I'll always say, anybody who's watched CIS Counter-Strike will know that when it comes to regional matchups, all cards are off the table. It doesn't matter who you think is going to win coming into this, absolutely anything can happen. And I'm hoping that that carries through into Valorant as well, because you get some of the best games you're ever going to see in esports between those couple of teams. So I'm expecting forZe to have done their research. Of course, there might be a couple of Swedes in the mix to kind of ruin that matchup a little bit, but Coffee, he's still going strong. We've already had a masterclass on the Marshall from Yumpy. I feel like Coffee might be giving us another one.
Oh, Artist at a really sneaky position there, but he falls back. There's a chance they even saw him. Tigers exchanged on both sides as the information swings in for each team. Do FPX decide to still push into this A site? We've seen at least 2 players here. The answer is yes. And they are going to steam forward into these weaker weapons. Nice deep flash, but nothing really going their way on forZe's side. They're going to have to back out of this and play a retake as FPX get that spike on the floor. I like the snake bites though. Huge delay potential coming in from Zeddy, but instead Shadow's just going to go up top and get it planted there.
Spike planted.
makes things a little bit more awkward for any after plants that they might have prepared. You can see Angel currently sat back watching for any flanks to be coming through. It becomes quite a bit more difficult with the current weaponry. Saigetsu actually manages to find one. They don't realize they Xiao's that close though. It's still becoming incredibly costly, and a rifle now picked up for Zeddy actually gives him a real chance. The remaining couple of players are low, but they may not have the lineup for the plant. They do have one to stop him from jumping up in the first place. FPX get themselves around, but for a bonus for forZe, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, all things considered, you know, I'm looking at that and thinking forZe got out with a pretty good deal. With Coffee having his ultimate online, the potential to pull out that Blade Storm is always going to be there. And that makes the economy that little bit more comfortable. I don't know, man. Like, I think overall, should have been a lot cleaner for FPX, let's say. Although they did run into a 3-man stack on the A side. Now coming into this round, full buy comes out from forZe. And in fact, screw the Blade Storm. Coffee's gone straight for the ult.
Yeah, why not? If he can afford it. Obviously using only the Marshal, which in itself is an incredibly cheap weapon. Saigetsu trying to get a little bit more aggressive, a little bit tougher than, say, when you see a Reyna do it, for example. That's something that we see quite similarly on this A-side defense. It gives him the opportunity to escape, but never mind, the trade's not quite quick enough. He is going to get tagged up and stunned, and well, the swing out onto Angel makes it all too easy. The trades, however, coming back thick and fast. The running and gunning off the back of the Vandal, and the wide swing even coming out from Zeddy to give them a man advantage again.
Desperate measures for forZe. Those Seekers coming in prompted some more aggressive play that has definitely worked out this time around. FPX 2 versus 3. Oh no, Coffee! The Blade Storm's used up and it just doesn't land. That's devastating. FPX maintain control of the site, get themselves the second round of the board, and I really felt like things started out pretty well for forZe on the aggressive play, but, well, it didn't finish that way. A huge loss with both Blade Storm and Operator dropped from Coffee. He doesn't have anything to play with in this round.
Yeah, I think this retake, this is exactly what FPX wanted. Just individual duels. They had the 3 versus 2. I think other than Demus Sick, they had an HP advantage as well. But it's just the initial pick. It's just that little bit too earlier, and they're able to just turn it into a 2v2 scenario. Sure, there's a whiff or two with the knives, but even still, connecting onto the second player would have been tough. And I do feel like they've somewhat given that one over to FPX.
Poison's off.
Let's see if another goes their way, as Artist is already taken down, but this B site has a lot of defenders on it already. 4-man stack. All of the defensive forces are here, but look at that late wall down. Something we've seen from Angel a million times when it comes to playing Icebox, that he holds onto that wall until the late stage of the game. But forZe have managed to close in a lot of the distance. As the wall falls, the kills quickly go FPX's way, and no more stress, as that side is clearly taking the 3rd round. forZe now able to get themselves a buy-up at least.
They actually used the Blade Storm there. I think they were worried that somebody was just sticking the spike, so they actually invest the ultimate just to give that extra elevation. Of course, in a round like this, you want to keep it as clean as humanly possible, but I'm a little bit surprised, especially with that being one of the most impactful in terms of just economy building, if you want to go for that, if you lose the operator, and also if you end up in a clutch now, well, it's not going to be ideal for Xiao, let's put it that way.
Most definitely, yeah. At the same time, you know, if they ended up getting ninja'd on, we'd be berating him for not using it, I guess. Angel gets himself an opening, but dropped right afterwards. That's good mid-aggression by forZe in the early stages of the round. They're going back out, and Dimasik's ready. An easy kill for him, and traded back by Shadow. The weapon will be upgraded here as well, so now you're seeing pretty much mirror matchup. 2v2 operators on the Jets. With a minute left, that Seeker on its way towards this side is going to reveal that, well, there's no one here. Zeddy's left it. He's gone to the back side, gone over towards spawn. The snake bite has not exactly landed where it was intended to. I will say, not many people plant there. So that's going to be a nice easy plant as Shadow plays up above. And look at this. The angle that he's going to have as they walk through main, probably not expected to be that aggressive in the early stages. He actually does end up backing off, allowing Shao to watch the angle instead. And now he's sort of behind enemy lines. They suspect him to be around this area. Shadow back up above. The flash around the side doesn't even catch him. Shadow being crept on the right side. He has no idea. Backs off, but not in time. Coffee just about catching him and getting the defuse to put it 3-3. This map is being kept competitive.
Yeah, it's been insanely close so far. Like, both teams fighting back and forth. Early entries going one way, swinging back in the other. And I'm liking the fact that forZe are not afraid to take these fights versus FPX, especially as FPX are one of those teams that love to hold this sort of default round where they'll patiently wait for you to make those sort of mistakes. The fact that in a lot of cases they're either coming out even or even on top is a very good sign for their early rounds, especially as we know, again, that this is one of those maps where, I guess, unless you're someone like Guild, you're normally expecting quite a lot of attack side rounds. So for FPX, I want to hope to break back. They've got the finances to do so, and Coffee misses the shot. You got the disgusting operator on the other side that's going to manage to connect, and now Zeddy's in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he is stuck getting back. There's absolutely no angle where they won't see him and be able to pounce right afterwards. Goes up and even catches the shot. With Zip and drop, he's staying aggressive. In the snake bite, though, left the fall to back yellow. Seeker's going out, revealing these players.
Oh, he's dying.
He's gotten out. He's managed to bail, though. That second snake bite, it did catch him. But on 1 HP, after a little bit of decay, he survives, and he's even getting healed up.
I wonder if they'll continue to press on this, especially being locked down currently by the ice wall. You've got alert coming through as always from Demasik, trying to take a little bit of space back on the other side of the map and making sure that at least no one has pushed all the way through to come in for the flank. Now, with this information there, he also knows they haven't even pushed back into A. He's still got a deep cam available to him, so they're actually going to continue into this B site.
30 seconds left.
Perhaps an opportunity here for Hudgen. The gap down below, he spotted a player moving to the backside. He can't really spam it. Shadow even gets up to Zeddy then. The info was there, but the execution not quite. Hudgen struggling with the Guardian inside this Viper's pit, and it is time to leave as he's on 1 HP, but little did he know there was a player waiting for him on the other side. And, well, I don't know what I'd suggest, sorry, that forZe do in this situation. The 1v4 is, well, not exactly winnable, and even saving might be impossible.
Swarm grenade out.
Yeah, probably hoping that they could have got something a little bit more done with the lockdown, especially once the Viper's pit was invested. But again, it's I felt like that's almost just become Shadow's role in a lot of these positions, is actually try and be the aggressor, try and take control away from them. And I think in this round it was actually especially important because Zipham was the one that they lost. Now, we all know how the B-site executions normally go, and it involves putting down the Sage Wall and getting the plant while it's up. So they needed someone to make sure that, okay, they can't spam the box, they can't deny the plant, because, well, it definitely would have caused havoc, and he did that job perfectly. Now, for forZe, Mitch, they have no money at all.
Yeah. Yeah, but a couple frenzies. Other than that, it's going to be the full eco out of forZe. We're not too surprised to see that. A 4-man B stack, in fact. They might be able to get something out of this. I mean, if FPX were to aggress, we know Xiao is playing this one nice and passive. The whole group, other than Xiao, who obviously has both an operator and a dash to get out of there, if he does get challenged, the whole group is just coagulating. They're making sure that no matter what happens, they are able to get trades and hopefully avoid dropping weapons altogether. Because this is the kind of scenario where if forZe do get themselves 2 kills, they'll be happy. The problem is FPX are gearing up for a B attack with absolutely no idea what they're about to run into.
Well, they might have an idea now. I think the Tigers just spotted almost everything. However, they're going to get blinded up. The flash was decent. Unfortunately, the weapon's not going to allow for too much more, and Legetsu going to be the last man standing, classic in hand. A kill here would be great, and he's even going to hit the dink, but it won't get anything done. 5-3 FPX, Resurgence looking pretty damn strong, and I think there needs to be a response almost now from forZe, otherwise I do think that this half could get out of control.
Most definitely. It can spiral. Considering where FPX are as well. I mean, just look at their credits. It is stacked in their favor. What I'll say when I look at forZe, they have a lockdown. They have a res. Early fights are something that they can play for. Go for retakes elsewhere. Well, that early fight hasn't gone too well. Might be time to get Sage rotating around. The only problem is rezzing up on top of that box is a pretty difficult task. And a good shutdown with Hujin falling to trade out Angel. That kill that they found onto Angel, though, Tom, does leave FPX without any smokes.
I don't need them. There's no one on A. And they know it as well. The Seeker's giving it away. They can just go pushing into this site. They're going to let Demasik go first. And he's incredibly low. Now, they got 2 players with the ability to heal. But as of right now, it doesn't look like either of them are going to be able to give that over to him. Coffee's going to be bought back from the fray. Seems like they're going to attempt to try and play this in a retake. They do have to be pretty careful, though. And that's actually quite an early lockdown, considering where these remaining players are. I think they're trying to force them out to almost peek on the flank, where 2 players are going to be waiting. However, the trade's still coming back. And it turns into, well, now a 3v2 with the res coming through for Zipan.
Now the defuse is already underway, though, halfway gone. They need to peek in and stop him. Zeddy has just got it defused right under their nose. That is absolutely gorgeous. And again, another factor that they lose by not having Angel. Post-plant utility isn't there. So that ultimate, that lockdown pushes them all the way back. And, well, there's nothing they can do at that point. And I think that's a little bit of a poor judgment from FPX, knowing that forZe had the lockdown online, knowing that that killjoy hadn't been taken down yet, and that they did not have any post-plant utility to play around. That's where you start to think, let's plant this nice and open. But yeah, they got boxed in, and, well, 5-4.
Well, this duel so far has only really gone one way. Coffee this time not even going to have his operator in hand. I'm going to see Zipan take a little bit of early damage. It's not been the best of times for him so far. The dual peak is good, but it's only going to be a trade. The wall off will only slow them down for the moment. In fact, it will barely slow them down at all. Angel's going to continue, but again, he loses the battle to Artist. Now, they've locked down A with the Viper's Pit, so they're going to continue to try and pressure onto this. And Artist, he actually manages to escape.
The reaction play from forZe here, that's something that we just don't see in EU. That kind of wall, you never see that played in European Valorant. And he goes straight in, no hesitation, makes that play, catches them going up on top, bails out, happy with the advantage that he's gained for his team. I love that from forZe and from Artist in particular. Now we come into the last 40 seconds of the round. The spike is on the way towards the B site. This is going to be a pure B play from FPX, but they don't have a Viper to play with here. So post plan's going to be pretty tough. That's why they push up. They try to get some extra control. Demasik wins the duel in towards the spawn, dropping Artist, and the flank play from Shadow is so clean. This is terrifying if you're forZe, but that kill makes it a little bit more doable. A Viper late coming in from middle, completely undetected, but so too is Shadow as he makes his way in through kitchen. The clock is the biggest enemy for forZe here. They have so much ground to cover and so little time to do it. And then through the window, Shadow gets the timing on the first and the swing to bring it 6-4 with a 3K. Absolutely gorgeous work from FPX. They identified the problems in front of them, the challenges they were facing, and then they just destroyed forZe with those aggressive pushes.
Shadow's been superb. That's now multiple rounds where they've either had the Sage wall missing or the Viper screen missing, and he's been able to fill those gaps just by taking map control away and cutting off any players from being able to deny the plant. This at the end was almost just the icing on the cake, because I think with the amount of time left, he'd almost won them the round anyway. So the impact of Shadow, something that can't be ignored here for FPX. It looks like we're going to see a bit more aggression in this round. And again, the unfortunate truth for forZe is that although this map has been kind of close in terms of the back and forth of the rounds, they've had to have breaks in between because their economy has been so bad that every other round they don't have a buy.
Coffee's down right away. forZe needs some damage. They really do. But I don't know that they're going to find any. I mean, at least it's right smack bang at the end of the half.
Flawless.
So a flawless round won't set FPX up in the way that it otherwise could have if this was a little bit
Last
earlier
round
on in the
before
game.
the switch.
Look at the ultis left to play with coming into this final round. There is a bunch. So I think Shadow, Angel, and possibly Zipan all have their ultis to play with. No, sorry, it was Shao. That's pretty strong. Viper's Pit, Seekers, and Bladestorm. Not going to be an easy round for forZe to defend against.
Well, the fact that he doesn't have an operator as well makes me think that this is going to be something incredibly aggressive. Because otherwise, with 8,250 credits, I think we'd probably be seeing Shao invest into an operator. So we do actually have a switch up. Ajion on the other side.
I've got
Gonna
your
have one in
trail.
hand. Coffee's not at the best of times, I'll be honest. I think this operator player's been a little bit rough so far on this map, and already it's gonna go a bit wrong on the other side as Angel has just walked in and found a double entry. Shao not actually gonna get anything, but it may not matter too much. You're 4 versus 3 and afterplant, and this time, well, Mitch, they've got that utility.
That they do. I'm surprised the pit hasn't gone up just yet. You know, Angel's he's taking his time. He's even just going for the pure post-plan setup. You don't have to use all your ultis just because it's the last round, and they're going to assure victory through more conventional means. That is 8-4. In fact, you saw the snake bite there, right? That was an aggressive one for over towards the rafters. Gorgeous stuff. 8-4. Fantastic half. And FPX now on the defensive side. If they win this pistol, they get absolutely catapulted into the lead.
It's a bit of a weird one because it like normally I look at this, I say, forZe won the pistol and they only got 2 rounds. This has been dominant, but I feel like there's been a lot of rounds that not only they could have win, maybe they should have done, and also the fact that they've been finding a lot of decent picks. It's just that, well, you look at the fact that 8 for 2 towards the end of the half, it really isn't looking particularly good for forZe now going into the defensive side, and I think they're going to have to make sure they get that second pistol, otherwise we might not get to see much of their attack at all.
Yeah, I think the big problem for a team like forZe is going to be experience at an international level being basically non-existent. I think this is the kind of thing where as time goes on, they'll fix some of these problems that we're seeing, but as it stands, FPX certainly the... Oh my god.
What just happened?
Just dropped
He just
on him.
looked into the eyes of his opponent, giving him a wink, and then shot him in the face. Like,
I'm pretty sure he landed
couldn't have
on
gone
him.
much worse. And now, well, Artis is the only one alive. He's just stuck in the middle of every single player. They know exactly where he is. He's still going to find the kill, but they're already defusing, getting that spike to halfway and waiting for the peak. Shao will land the final shot, and it's a bit of a calamity again for forZe.
A disaster. Yeah, when you lose that pistol, this is where things get really difficult. You're on the attack side. You're going to try to find a little bit of space, a little bit of room, but I mean, half the rounds were found off the back of the pistol so far. And like I said, Tom, yeah, I don't feel like it's been nearly as dominant as on paper, I suppose it has been.
Yeah.
This was just confusing. I feel like there was a 1 second delay in his head where he's like, wait, where am I? Just drops in. It's like he's gone through a portal. Doesn't know what's
I
going
like
on.
the idea from the other point of view as well. Like forZe going, okay, cover me, cover me, cover me. He's like, dude, and like just staring him in the face. Why is he
Shao.
died there?
I'm always worried when I see this kind of a push. They're going to go for long range. Wall goes up. It's over on the defensive side, though. Shao's still going to be able to make those angles work when it comes to the Marshall. I don't know how Hudgen has won that. They'll be dropped after. Trade is there. Hey, this is a good round. forZe bought nothing. Literally nothing. And they end up, granted, giving 4 kills to Shao means he's 2 away from Bladestorm, but
Yeah.
for the most part, they end up in a pretty good spot. They did damage. They got kills. They only have 1 chance to capitalize on that, though, Tom. They lose this round, that goes out the window. And at that, they need to win this round relatively convincing. Problem is that I'm pretty sure Angel has an actual rifle. Like, he has a Vandal coming into this.
That is
he
always
does.
the thing when it comes to FPX, is that every single member of this team could play a hero rifle, and I would be absolutely fine with it. And even though in most teams you would not expect that to be the in-game leader, Angel is 100% the exception to the rule. Or exception that proves the rule, as Mitch loves to say.
Tom, not gonna lie. We're gonna be having words about that a
Is
little
that
bit
your
later.
least favorite saying ever?
It's not my least. I
didn't
don't
know
mind the
that.
saying. I mind it when people use the saying incorrectly. That's what. It's the most abused saying. Anywho, always the bridesmaid, never the bride. FPX looking to take that ring this time around. Hey, it'd be great if it was like the Super Bowl. You know, if they got a ring, that would have worked better.
What?
And this is going to be the defensive side retake of your dreams, evidently, because they are just tearing them apart. forZe have got weapons this time, and it looks worse than the damn eco. FPX overrunning them and leaving only Killjoy sitting in towards the tube, but there's no angle on the spike. It's just GG. Just run away. Save the weapon, my dude. Oh, well, that's not a save, but again, we talked about damage. It's 11-4, man. I don't care that you got a couple kills. They're about to have Bladestorm online. Saving that weapon was pretty much the only thing that mattered.
Yeah, no, there was no value in that kill whatsoever, especially as I'm pretty sure you could even buy in with like an operator. Yeah, Deebasick has 5,300, Shadow has 400. Like it made no difference to this upcoming buy for FPX whatsoever. And yeah, again, I feel like FPX are just doing so well to try and disrupt anything that forZe are attempting to do. And I don't think forZe have a backup plan. I think that's the main thing. The mid rounds from them have looked shaky. It's looked so much better for FPX that a lot of these in the early stages look good. They look close, and then we end the round with 3 or 4 players surviving for FPX, and I'm sat there with a confused look on my face. Even this, that's the spike. Now, luckily, it's not going to matter too much, but well, the fact that they've now lost another player kind of does.
That just felt mean, Tom, from the way I read into that. It's like, luckily, it's not going to matter too much because they're all dead. So, you know, Spike being down's the least of their worries. Like we said, some of these rounds have been hyper competitive, but at this point, forZe.
Yeah,
well,
no, it's not.
There you go.
It's not. They get boomed.
There you go. You know, the first half, okay, they didn't get that many rounds, but it certainly felt close and doable, and workable. Right here, I feel like I'm watching the previous series. It's like Liquid all over again. 12-4. FPX are cold as ice.
Wow. I don't even know if the investment's going to be that good. Don't start singing. No one wants that. No one wants that. Not one.
I was hoping you'd pick it up, but
no,
not
wants
much of a
either.
singing guy.
Here.
No, I've tried to get Tom to do karaoke.
A few drinks and karaoke. I do karaoke all the time.
I mean, like on the break screen instead of like pause music.
Oh, really?
We just have
Am I
karaoke.
gonna be the song of the week?
You could be,
Not
Tom.
quite as good as imagine.
Listen,
Oh,
you gotta
no.
shoot for the stars.
Coffee's just gone.
It's the bond, man. I'm telling you, Jet's little bond gives you away sometimes, and right there, one end of
Okay,
Coffee's life.
second chance.
Yeah, res in, but Shadow wants to hunt this down. 3 players inside the tube. One in the kitchen. These guys are boxed in. FPX, they're punching their ticket. They know exactly where these players are. In fact, they've cleared pretty much everything else now, and there's 4.
Wow.
4 players in tube spotted. Now FPX can crunch in on this, and they're just spraying away. Oh, God, it's disgusting. Fish in a barrel, and they are taken down. Or is it now having to fight back? They've used the res. They've lost Coffee, who got res, the artist who was part of that res. Now here comes the ultimate on the site. A desperate attempt to get a plant down, and Zeddy's on top. Why is he on top when he's used his ult? Tom, what was that? Who ults on top and then stands there in the open? Well,